Hi, my people. Lion Spirit here. I got backed by this massive oak tree. Okay, it's not that massive, but it's an oak tree. So, today, again, another message for you. In the series Narcissist in a Nutshell, today you can learn about the inverted narcissist, the covert narcissist, the inverted narcissist. Yes, they are truly cowards, but let's dive in. So, you always have to understand these guys in comparison or relation to the overt, grandiose narcissist, because they share some similarities, but there's obviously a big difference. And the covert narcissist is harder to spot because he is sneaky. He does not have the same capabilities as a narcissist, and they are codependent on narcissists. So they need a narcissist, another one, a capable, overt narcissist, in order to extract the narcissistic supply they need. So how do they even, when you think a narcissist is twisted, because we all know they are fascinating and scary at the same time, and completely different than an empathic, chosen, strong, healthy personality. They are completely different. You have to understand that. There is a profound twist in their personality. Okay, and how does the covert narcissist? How do these guys get into creation? How does it happen that they become such cowards? Okay, and it is this. It's the same as a narcissist in the beginning. They have, with the age of roughly 6 years in the early childhood, there is a problem with individuation. They do not get the unconditional love from their mother for whatever reasons. Could be pedestalization, could be another kind of accident or violence involved, rejection. And this makes the child feel very vulnerable. And then they invent a false self in order to not go through more pain, because the false self is a shield, and they sacrifice their authentic self, just like a narcissist. So they are narcissists in the beginning, but then the false self gets disabled, gets dysfunctional, gets destroyed, or never has been functional. This could be another event years later, whenever the narcissist gets rejected. So he got his supply, he is successful in some way, but then something went wrong, he got discarded, he got isolated. For some reason, his grandiosity could not be fueled, because narcissists are dependent. They always run around to get supply, to get fuel for their false self. It must be validated, so they are needy. And the inverted or covert narcissist, he at some point did not get enough fuel, and his false self collapsed. And this is why they are so frustrated, because they already sacrificed their authentic self, and they created this last resort kind of false self, and then they even lost that. So they are basically left with nothing. And this is why they have a lot of narcissistic rage, a lot of frustration, and from this results all kinds of neurosis, depression, anxiety, paranoia, hypervigilance, whatever, very troubled for them, for their mind to live with that, and it's quite understandable. So, what is the difference? How do you spot the covert narcissist in comparison to a normal narcissist? They are, as I said, more sneaky, and they are mimicking. So when they enter your life, they will most likely come as a complete victim. They adopt victimhood as a primary survival strategy. like a doormat. They lie on the ground flat, they are incapable of anything, and they really play this role. They are like professional victims. And by this, they enter the life of social people, of people who can give them something. And they will ideally look for, like, I also call them the vulnerable vultures, because they are like vultures in the sky and looking for the ideal target for them. It's a relationship that is in trouble from a narcissist. So a narcissist that is close to discard his current partner is the ideal target for the covert narcissist, because he will come and try to replace this partner to... It's like a vulture that sees a hurt creature, and he will want to feast from the remains of this relationship that has already in trouble. So they will then use their perfect professional victimhood in order to enter the lives of these people, and then it gets really dirty, because they are... you will find out you cannot confront them. They are they kind of establish their game while they are in absence. So it's almost beyond words. It's like a demonic energy. It's like you come home and you have the feeling that somebody shit in the middle of the carpet of the living room, but you have to pretend that everything is fine, because it's kind of just like absence. They have a passive aggression, and they project this whenever they can and make very subtle provocations, because they cannot act out, they cannot express themselves, they are not very articulate. They have no abilities. This is why they are covert narcissists. So they are very sneaky, just very sneaky. And yes, they can be suicidal as well, of course, but I believe most of the times they just use this being suicidal. If they will always push the limits. They will push their limits, and if something goes wrong, they lose control. They will say, okay, I kill myself. And then the game is changing again. People are caring for them again. They get attention. And we go on, repeat the same circle of abuse and trying to get a codependent relationship running. And a narcissist is already self-destructive. The narcissist's life aims for self-destruction unconsciously. But the covert narcissist, he goes quicker. He says he has even more short-term goals. So he is willing to take huge risks just for a short-term reward. But in the long term, they are going to self-destruct. It's even more than the narcissist. They also tend to be drawn to magic things, because the narcissists need magic for their own personality to happen, false self, then imploded false self. And so they have the shared fantasy, all kinds of magic, and they can't use the normal way. A healthy person is supplied by nature, by his own nature, by the whole hormones, the whole body chemistry, everything works just by itself, and we're giving thanks for that. But the covert narcissist, he always needs some external help, some kind of cheating, some way around, and this is why they are drawn to magic and occult things. And yeah, this is how they try to get their supply, mind control, destroy people's lives. And again, it's like they are like shit also, because you don't want to confront shit. If you touch shit, it will stick to your hands. So when the covert narcissist is coming in your life and he has somehow grown into it, like in a malignant way, like a fungi or cancer, you will have to live your own life, because you don't want something that is full of shit. You just say, all right, I'm out of this. It will stick to me if I try to act with it. They don't accept any limits. They don't have shame. The opposite is the case. If they do something that is shameful, like abusing people, kids, whatever, They are proud of it, and this is the sadistic way of them as well. So do not expect them to accept any boundaries, or if you make an agreement, don't tell them secrets. Don't. This applies to all the narcissists, but especially to covert narcissists. Don't tell them about your emotions. They are not worth it. They don't have emotions. Just, it's my favorite narcissist is a covert narcissist. They are really special. They're absolutely not accountable for what they do. They will always blame others, and they also will blame their victims. If they abuse children, they will go to these children and ask for understanding, so that the children might say, "Oh, I have so much problems in my life. I'm depressive, suicidal." So they will go to the victims they abuse and ask for mercy, pity, in order to get acceptance. They have nothing. The covert narcissist also has great shifting abilities. He is like a real shapeshifter. They mimic you because they don't have an authentic personality. So they have a repertoire of people they can mimic in order to get through their life. But they don't have an authentic personality, and if they have, you don't want to get to know it. It's the worst you could ever imagine. So they have learned a few people, they looked out and they mimic them from whatever they favor at this moment. And they also do the victim blaming, as I told you. So they will blame the victims, their own victims, for, they will say, they help me they want to be abused. It's crazy. I can't even explain how they do it, but they will blame their own victims for being abused. And they are interested in establishing a codependency, of course, because they do not stand the fact that they are needy and parasitic, because they have still this grandiose self. It's crazy. What they have in mind is, I'm a loser, I can't do anything, I'm a victim, but still they feel entitled about anyone, and especially the person they envy the most. So they have a huge mental conflict running all the time. No virtues, no boundaries, but it's all short term, because all these things will fall back on them later. So I hope I could give you some insight about the covert narcissist. Stay tuned, and let's see in another video. Follow me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and all this social media stuff.